Hey peeps, so I'm here with my sister today, as you can see, and her name's Angel, if some of you guys don't know. But we are actually going to be talking about the home buying process because she just bought a house. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and let her tell you about her general process and what the first steps and initial thoughts were.
So a few years ago, I'm living in the apartment I've been living in for, oh my gosh, over 10 years at that point, I guess. And it was sort of around 2011, 2012, I started to get the feeling I need to move. I got tired of, loud neighbors, inconsiderate neighbors, all of that sort of thing, and just needed more space as well. So I started thinking about buying a house. I looked online and that sort of thing. I knew, and I'd already started the process of paying down any debt that I had. And then of course I have student loans like a lot of people have, but I also had one major credit card that I need to pay down. And I think I forget what the original balance was, but it was high. And I did a balance transfer and to a credit card with a lower annual rate. And then once I did that, it made my payments lower. So then I started paying it down. So that started a while before I decided I wanted a house. Of course, I wanted the credit card paid off. But then once I knew I wanted to buy a house, I decided, okay, well, we really need to pay this down, because what if I need stuff for the house? So what I ended up doing was paying that down. Then about 3 years ago, I realized that I don't know anything about buying a house. I had no idea. I knew a little bit of information, but not a whole lot. And so I decided to sign up for different home buying classes. Now, I know some people might run into classes that you have to pay for and that sort of thing, but I went online and I'd heard, I think, on the radio about home buying classes. And so I looked at the Urban League, and I think they'd been like on NPR, a local show. And so I went to their website and I found that they had some classes coming up. So I signed up for one of those classes. And then it was like one Saturday. You get a certificate that then enables you to qualify for certain grants and first-time home buyer grants and that sort of thing, and assistance. Once that happened, I think the next thing was I needed a real estate agent. Now, people tell you about real estate agents and they give you people's names. And like I had signed up with one person and they would send me listings and stuff, but the listings that they were sending me were really not, they were very general. They were just like anything I could find online. And they were often not in areas that I was like, I'm pretty sure I said these areas, but they were in drastically different areas than what I'd specified. So I went, first I found someone through my work. Someone else at my work had used this person, and they give certain discounts to people at my work. I didn't feel comfortable, so I kept looking for another real estate agent. During this time, I kept paying down my debt, so the one credit card, and I think it was probably about $2,500 at that point. I'd already paid down a good chunk of it by the time I wanted the house. But the other thing I needed to do was start saving for the house, saving for a down payment. Because although you could get some type of assistance from grants and that sort of thing, that's not a guarantee. You never know. So I started saving. All along this process, this took like 3 years. So my sister knows, because I would send her, like, if I thought I liked something, I would send pictures of the house to my sisters. Along the way, like, my sisters would say, well, you need to like expand the area that you're looking in. And I did to some degree, but then although I had expanded it, I didn't always see something that I wanted per se. Like, there'd be some major thing that was something I couldn't deal with. Like, it had a tiny, tiny kitchen. I don't mind tiny rooms, but the kitchen at least had to have a decent layout. So once I found a real estate agent that I liked, who I think got me in what type of house I was looking for and why I was looking for the house. So that's really important. If you're someone who knows you're not going to be staying in the house, if you're doing this to make money quick, like you're just going to live in it, you know, it's going to be your starter house or investment, then what you're looking in the house may be very different than someone who wants, like me, to live for a long time in the house. So once you know, it was through conversation, I realized, I was like, this person's gonna help me get the house. We probably, with the real estate agent that I didn't go with, we looked at one condo. And at that point I was sort of open to looking at condos. But then I started thinking to myself, you know, I think a house might be better. Once I had the real estate agent that I really wanted, we saw 3 houses together. One was one that I'd already seen and I thought I might be interested. One was one she suggested. And then it was the house I finally bought. And once the night that we were here, I was like, I want to put in an offer. We came late at night, just because that's when it was available to see. And that was probably in February. We saw it, and I was like, this is the house. Once we started the process and I put in the offer that night. It was they accepted my offer, I do believe, later that night. It went that fast. And just the FYI, so this is in Columbus, Ohio. It goes that fast. I don't know, like right this minute, if it's going that fast, but for the last year or so it has. And I never thought I would be one of those people that snatched a house up like that, but I did. And once we got to that point, everything else went fairly quickly. I think it was about a month after we saw the house that we closed. So it was very quick. And it was quick because I had all my paperwork. You know, they need tax returns, pay stubs, bank statements, your social, your birth certificate. They need all that information. And I had all of that information together already. The home buying classes prepare you for that for the most part. So, and everything was online. So if they needed me to sign something or to review something, it was all online. It was really just that easy. So for me, I was sort of lucky. And I think it was because I took the home buying class. And so you have to take it every year for it to get the certificate so you can qualify for the different grants. And because I took it 3 times, I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I knew the things that they wanted. And so I made sure that I had all those things organized, and I already had them organized them, like tax returns. I had PDFs of all that saved already in a file. So it made all of that simple. Whereas some people might have to go find it in a file, or they might have it boxed up. So it's really important to have that in line and have your finances, make sure that your credit and all your bills are paid and that sort of thing. Any questions, Amber?
I have no questions, Angel. Okay, so that's gonna be it for this general overview. So hopefully those are things that you guys are interested in or need to know, or you want to pass along to somebody else. So if this is something that you want to stay tuned in on, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell and share this with anybody that you think needs it, so you can help them and you'll be helping the channel as well. So stay tuned for our next episode going into further detail. So we're going to go into detail every single step that she just talked about. Thank you all for watching.